We're here to bring a new type of news show.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bringing news just for you is Wednesday, October 1st here in Seoul. I'm Isujin, and this is News Generation. Joining us today is Wonbin.
Good morning.
Good morning. Also, Niall's with us.
Good morning.
Good morning. And both are here to speak on behalf of people in their 20s and 30s. Today is October 1st, and it's not just any Wednesday, it's Armed Forces Day here in South Korea. This day is all about honoring the brave men and women who serve in the military and recognizing the sacrifice they make to protect the country. And across the nation, ceremonies and events are held to show appreciation for their dedication. So Wonbin, can you tell us more about Armed Forces Day and why we celebrate it?
Of course, I'll be honored to. So the Korean Armed Forces Day, in Korean we call it 국군의날, is the day we honor the soldiers that served our country, like Sujin just mentioned. The date October 1st actually carries a lot of meaning. So in order to understand this, we must briefly understand the history of Korean War, which I will give to you. So on June 25th, 1950, North Korea launched a surprise attack without any prior declaration of war. Therefore, South Korea lost the majority of its territory within a few months. A few months later, Korea began to retrieve its territory after the miraculous Incheon landing operation. In Korean, we say Incheon 상륙작전. And October 1st, 1950 is the day that Korea retrieved all of its territory and began advancing to the North Korean territory for the first time. Thus, October 1st is the Korean Armed Forces Day.
So sometimes we tend to forget why certain commemorative dates are marked on specific days. So that was a really good reminder that October 1st isn't just randomly chosen. It's a significant day in history when South Korea not only regained its lost territory, but also advanced for the first time into North Korean territory. So what kinds of events or activities take place on this day, Niall?
Right, so this actually marks the 77th anniversary of the founding of Republic of Korea's armed forces, and there is a special Armed Forces Day ceremony planned at the Gyeongdae Parade ground, and the theme is an advanced, strong military with the people. So their emphasis is on going together with the people, and around 5,000 service members and civilians are expected to participate, and the program says that there's going to be screening of a congratulatory video from the public, civil military integrated taekwondo demonstration, which is always cool, aerial formation flights, a celebratory flight performance by the Black Eagles air demonstration team, exhibition of weapon systems, and featuring AI and cutting-edge technology.
So Armed Forces Day highlights how military service is a major part of life here, even impacting celebrities and changing the way fans interact with their favorite stars. So let's take a look at the screen to learn more. Each year, on October 1st, South Korea commemorates the service of men and women in the Republic of Korea Armed Forces and celebrates the development of the nation's military. Military service is a big deal in Korea as every able-bodied male citizen is required to serve. This even includes celebrities, which has changed the way fans follow their favorite stars. Today on News Generation, we'll take a closer look at K-pop stars and their military duty, what life in the military is like for celebrities, and how fan culture has evolved around it. As we just saw in the video, military service is a defining experience for many men in South Korea, including celebrities. It's not just a personal milestone, but also something that reflects the country's unique security situation and cultural expectations. And today we have us with Wonbin, who has completed service in the Korean Army. So Wonbin, could you tell us why military service is mandatory in South Korea, and also share a bit about what your personal experience was like?
Of course I can. I would love to. So serving the Army is a mandatory duty that all Korean men must serve. And the reason for that is that although Korea has grown into a stable, developed country, Korea is still in a state of armistice. Therefore, regardless of how safe we feel today, we must always be perfectly prepared for the worst case scenario. And like Sujin mentioned, I also serve my military service, as everyone should. And depending on where you are from, the duration of your service will be between 18 months to 21 months. And the location of your base is different different for everyone as well. I personally served my service for 18 months in the JSA, also known as Joint Security Area, which is one of the most critical locations of the border between North and South Korea. It is also well known for the location where the US President Trump met the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un.
So that makes me really curious. That's an area where you face to face with North Korean soldiers. So what was that like?
It was a once in a lifetime experience. Honestly, for me, it was. I thought it felt like a sacred duty for me because it's even something that you can't buy with money. It's the only thing that you can do as a Korean citizen. So it was a really fun experience.
So you're making eye contact. With
Yes,
these
we were
soldiers.
less than like 10 feet away or 3 meters away. So it was something.
That's quite an experience. So it really doesn't matter also how famous or wealthy you are. If you're an able-bodied man in South Korea, military service is mandatory, and that includes K-pop idols even at the height of their careers. So Niall, could you share with us some examples of well-known stars who are currently serving or have recently completed their service?
You know, BTS is well known is kind of an understatement of the century, but yes, all of BTS members, except Suga, who actually served as a social service worker, they have completed their service in the army in Korea, and many BTS members were selected as elite soldiers, and an official title given to soldiers who achieved the highest grade in physical fitness, marksmanship, and combat skills. I was actually talking to Wonbin about this earlier, and this is an unofficial stat, but he says maybe every 2 in 10 make it to this list, and they qualify for this, right?
Yes, that's correct. You need about, you got to do 72 push-ups, 86 sit-ups, and run 3 kilometers under 12 minutes and 30 seconds. So the standards are pretty high.
Intense, right?
So they have passed that standard, and they are proud soldiers of Korea. And there are other idols currently serving: NCT's Taeyong and Jaehyun, 17's Jeonghan, Wonwoo, Chaeun-woo, also a fan favorite. Several other idol stars are currently serving in the military duty, and I can't stress the importance of their service enough. Not just because they are idols, but because they've put down a very important time in their lives, in their youth, to serve our country. And this is not just for them, for everyone who is serving.
So in the past, celebrities actually used to kind of dread enlistment because it meant a complete break from their careers and their fans, but things aren't quite the same anymore, right? So how has the experience of serving in the military changed for celebrities compared to the past, Mombin?
Yeah, so it definitely changed a lot for celebrities, and not only for celebrities. This basically applies to everyone. So I would say there are 2 main big factors. First one would be the usage of cell phones, and the second one would be the PR method of the Korean Army. Now, starting from the biggest factor, phones. So since 2020, the Korean Army has decided to allow mandatory service soldiers to use their phones while they're off duty, which is usually from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. So about a couple hours a day, and longer on weekends. Now, although there were some exceptions, such as the front line where the communication security is crucial, this applied to the majority of the soldiers, and including the celebrities. This allowed soldiers to freely communicate with the outside world, and celebrities would also use their phones to stay connected with their fans during their service via social media or fan group chats as well. And now the second part is the Korean Army utilizing their celebrity soldiers to promote the Army. Now, they offer opportunities to the celebrities to perform in events in what they specialize, and they would upload the videos online on YouTube or something. And this was a quite smart move by the Korean Army because it makes like a win-win situation. The Korean Army makes a good impression, and the celebrities are still able to perform and showcase themselves to the public.
Have you ever seen these performances?
Unfortunately not.
I have. They're awesome.
Really?
Yes, and their dance moves in the uniforms are so brilliant.
Wow.
So I love them.
I feel like it hits different when they're in the uniform.
Yeah, and they look so great. So good for everyone involved.
So that's quite a big change, as idols can actually stay connected with their fans, and it's even an opportunity to show a new side of themselves. And now their entertainment agencies have also come up with creative ways to make the hiatus when on military service feel shorter and less daunting for fans. So could you share some of the strategies they use to keep fans engaged during that period, Niall?
Right. Back in 2018, Big Bang actually released a surprise single called 꽃길 Flower Road, and this was when Taesung enlisted into the army, and all the other members were either discharged or still serving in the army. And it was a great surprise for fans. And since then, many idols started releasing their own things while they're still in the military, and many idols film and stockpile their own content before the enlistment as well. Just this month, actually, 17's Hoshi released a surprise single called Take a Shot the day that he enlisted. So great surprise and farewell for just a little bit for the fans. And just like that, other idols also release pre-produced material during the service time to minimize the perceived military hiatus, and some pre-record appearances even in variety shows and release it later, so it feels like they're not too far gone.
So just as idols and their companies have found new ways to prepare for their military hiatus, the way fans wait for their favorite stars has evolved as well. So could you tell us more about how fan behavior has evolved during an idol's enlistment, Wonbin?
Of course I can. I love this topic. I'm having so much fun. So in this case, it would be the shift from analog to digital. So one of the main or only ways for fans to show support to their star is by sending them letters. And now in the past, this was done with real physical paper letters. Now let's just stop right there. Imagine the volume of letters that the base would receive. It was a mission for them, both the army and the celebrity, to handle. However, nowadays there is a separate platform to send digital letters to the soldiers, and this simplified the process and got rid of the majority of the physical labor of handling the paper physical letters. Just to give you guys a sense of how many letters celebrities get, V from BTS recently set a new record for digital letters, which was 4,670,000 letters.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's a crazy
I know.
number.
I did the math, and if he takes 10 seconds per letter, it would take him the entire military service time. So it's amazing. It's a big number.
So it's during that time, during that break, where they can access or read the letters, right? During the
While they
times.
use their phones during the off-duty time.
Oh, so during it was during dinner time, right? So
Yes,
those are the
that's right.
hours,
Yeah, the
and they can
evening.
read those letters. Oh, that's really meaningful. So, do you know of any other creative way fans use their time when idols are enlisted, Niall?
So I guess this is very unique to K-pop fandom because Korean men do enlist, and waiting for these celebrities is a special time in some ways. And I've heard some fans even go as far as to study Korean history. Wonbin gave us a little bit of Korean history lesson earlier, but some go as far back to Korean War and understanding why their beloved idol needs to serve in the army right now. And you know what? I think this is a great influence. And there are also other fan activities like, have you guys ever heard of 곰신? The concept of 곰신?
Right,
it's
a big
We're
thing.
gonna have to, it's a little bit of a Korean lesson here. 곰신 is short for 고무신. While it sounds like bare feet, it's actually a rubber shoe that's shortened into 곰신. But people who waited for their beloved ones who went to the military, we would call them 고무신, because you would wear your rubber shoes over and over while you wait for them. And if you cheated on your boyfriend, we would say 고무신을 거꾸로 신었다,
Oh, no.
meaning you actually flipped your rubber shoes inside out. Anyway, they actually have this thing called 곰신 전시회, which is an exhibition, 곰신 exhibition, where fans make their art of, I guess, their favorite stars, paintings, and maybe pictures put together, collages and things like that. And they would have exhibitions of their star while they are serving in the military, and they have the sense of community and sharing their art. And I think this is brilliant. Wonbin did mention the letters earlier. That's another way of, I guess, showing how much you miss them. I think when they get discharged, they all wait by the gates together with flowers and gifts. And this is on a personal level. I know somebody who has gotten a tattoo when they all enlisted. This is specifically for BTS, a tattoo of number 7, because their members also have number 7 on somewhere on their bodies, representing the members. And so that was their way to commemorate and say, I'll be waiting for you. So lots of different ways that fans wait.
Sounds like there's like a whole culture that's kind of
really
come out from
is.
this. So far we've talked about how military life has changed for celebrities, what it looks like for idols once they enlist, and also how the experience has evolved for fans who are waiting for them. So it's clear that both sides have adapted in unique ways over time. So to get a better sense of what the public thinks, we took the question to the Arirang News YouTube channel and asked viewers, why do you think Korean celebrities benefit from serving their military duty? So let's see what they had to say. So according to our poll, 72% of respondents said that military service earns public respect. 19% felt it provides a much needed break from celebrity life. 5% said it highlights a more masculine image, and 4% believed it creates a pause that actually strengthens the fan connection. So to get more of a first-hand perspective on this, we're also going to hear from an international fan of a K-pop idol group whose members have served in the military, and that conversation will take place right after the break, so don't go anywhere.
NewsGen wants to hear from you. Go to YouTube and search out channel Arirang News. Click Posts and cast your vote in the poll. Make a new type of news with us.
We're joined today by Bagia, a BTS fan. So hi Bagia, thank you so much for connecting with us today.
Hello.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
So what are your thoughts on mandatory military service in Korea?
I think at the beginning when I learned about this, I was very surprised to know because it was very new to me. Back in India, if you want to join military service, you have to apply, give a written exam, have interviews, and go through tough training. Even after this procedure, many people don't make it through. So it was very different in Korea. It was mandatory that everyone does it. So it was really surprising. So I had to look it up history and understand why this was happening because it was important to answer the why. So I got to know about the history, and in that context it made sense. It made sense that with the war situation going on, they were prioritizing the security. So yeah, it was surprising and also new information, which is good to know.
I see. It's really interesting to see the difference between the cultures of the country. Now, how did you manage when your favorite idols began their military service? And were there any interesting activities within your fandom during that time?
Very interestingly, BTS planned the military service in a way that they kept us busy throughout. For example, if two members went before, the other members released their solo albums, conducted solo concerts, and we were given content. So when these other remaining members were going to enlist, then the members who went first before, like Jin and J-Hope, they came back and they started giving us content and concerts. So there was a very little time where they left us, where there was no update or anything. During that time, we had interesting activities among the fandom, like streaming parties, listening to their old songs, old music videos, and also celebrating their birthdays and making a countdown for their comeback.
So you kept yourselves very busy and you felt the sense of community with the fans. So did you feel like this experience of waiting for BTS finishing their army service, do you think you got closer to them by waiting for them? And what kind of projects are you looking forward to most in the future?
I think yes, the waiting made us even closer to them. We missed them so much. We missed their online presence. That made us value their presence. The live streams they used to do now and then, that was gone. So we missed that so much. And while we were here waiting, and my friends who stand other groups were going to the concerts, having fun, and I was just waiting. So that waiting made me look forward to their concerts even more. So the upcoming, I think they will be having a new album and a comeback soon in spring 2026. So I'll be looking forward to the new music, concerts, and so I'm excited for that.
So I guess for you, absence did make your heart grow fonder. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Bye.
So we just spoke to a fan of a K-pop group who shared her thoughts about supporting her idols during their military service. It really showed us how much fans care and stay connected even during this period. So now turning it back to you, Wonbin, what message would you like to give to the stars currently serving in the military as well as to their fans who are waiting for them?
I just want to say that they made the right choice. One of the biggest downsides of the mandatory service is that you lose time and you need to pause your career or academics during that time. So to everyone, it's a huge demerit, and for celebrities, it would be even greater since their opportunity cost is much higher than the average people in their 20s. However, I wish them they know that in the long run, having the status of 군필, which means served individual, or 병장 만기 전역, which means discharged as sergeant with no penalties or conflicts, will shine as they continue their career. And it is very important because in Korea, because it's a mandatory service, there are some news or scandals about some celebrities trying to avoid the service. But it's a great honor to have an opportunity to officially, properly, and sacredly serve your country. And you live with a pride. And I personally know this well, and I also have a fun story that will help the viewers understand. So although I proudly consider myself as a Korean, many of my students think I'm Canadian because I teach English and I have a background in Canada. So when people ask me or when people say like, Michael, but aren't you Canadian? All I have to say is I served my military service, or I'm 군필, again, which means a served individual. Instantly, everyone agrees that I'm Korean. So I have like many more messages to say, but I think I'll keep it from here.
I think that's a good line.
Yes.
We'll shut people up.
Yeah.
So what about you, Niall?
I want to say that I appreciate it so much on so many different levels, but we grow up calling 군인 아저씨, which means the 아저씨s who are soldiers basically, into 군인 friends who are soldier friends, and then your boyfriend may be a soldier, and then it turns into, as you get older, the younger brothers who are in the military, and then the babies who are in the military. And I appreciate every single one of them serving with the time and effort for this country, because we really need it. And I guess I just have so much gratitude because they are civilians who turned soldiers to protect our country. And I just hope that in the future there's more improvement when it comes to communications, good facilities, and help them really serve our country well. And happy Armed Forces Day, everyone.
Happy Armed Forces Day. So Armed Forces Day reminds us not only of the sacrifices made by men and women in uniform, but also of how deeply military service is woven to everyday life here in Korea, even for celebrities. It's a reminder that service, duty, and dedication are values that transcend fame. While for fans, seeing their favorite idols in uniform may feel bittersweet, it also opens up new ways to connect and show support. And in the end, both the stars and their supporters share in the experience of service and resilience. And that brings us to the end of today's episode of News Generation, but News Gen will be back at 10:30 a.m. Korean time with more stories and discussions. A big thanks to Wonbin,
Always a pleasure.
to have you, and also Niall.
Thanks for having me.
And to our viewers, thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope you have the best day. We are News Generation.